First ever full garden tour. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to our Creation Homestead. Again, my name is Jason. We're out here. We're going to give you our first ever, I think maybe our first ever full garden tour. Now I'm going to try to speed through this a little bit because I don't want to kill all your time, but there's quite a bit here to show you, okay? We're going to get started with things on the patio. It's going to be containers, raised beds. I'm going to show you a few flowers that we planted here and there. Some things have just gotten watered, so you're going to see some water up and down through here, and maybe some of the stuff is kind of split apart, but show you everything we can as quick as we can, okay? We're going to start on our patio. Here's the green stalk that we planted with heat-tolerant lettuce and some random herbs. Angela, what are the herbs in there?
Thyme, parsley, cilantro, and oregano.
So some thyme, parsley, cilantro, and oregano in here, and these all just sprouted, obviously. But the lettuce on top is doing a lot better than the lettuce down here. There's some dahlias, some more dahlias. Again, it can't be all food, right? There's some flowers here and there. There's some dill. This is kind of what's split apart. Angela just watered it. And chamomile. This massive bed full of basil. Love the smell of basil. Angela's gonna make some pesto here soon. We have some beautiful lilies here. Too bad there's a lot of poison ivy around it. Beautiful lilies though. Alright, that was just a quick starter. A little stuff on the patio. Just the easy things to get to, you know. Over here in the corner of our house, we got onions. These onions here. I hate how the onion tops fall over, and the onions are growing. You can see they're bulbing up. They're getting the bulbs and everything. These are a long day onion, so they take longer. Need more sunlight, and they take longer into the year. So we probably still have, you know, a month or 2 months left on these probably. A lot of onions in here. See the garlic. This is all garlic from up here to over here, and it's gonna be ready to harvest here within the next couple of weeks. Maybe 2 weeks or less. It should all be ready to harvest. We're excited about that. And beets. My beets are looking a lot better than they were. Some of you who have been watching us, you know, consistently, maybe you know, have remembered me talking about rabbits eating things, or the beets not doing as well because they got ate on. And then I came back and I redid everything, and they look a lot better. These beets are super important to me. I love them to death. Pickled beets are very important to me. I love them. So those are doing great. Spent a lot of time and effort on them, so they look like they're doing much better now. Then this is a 6x6 raised bed that I have here in the middle of this section. It's got a little bit of lettuce that was kind of left over. We let it go. It's probably really bitter. We haven't tasted it. But this is these are cushaws, green striped cushaw right here. And we have honey nut squashes right here and maybe over here. And butterbush. These are butterbush. That's a bush variety of butternut squash over here and up here. Really trying hard to grow plenty of winter squashes, but the cushaw is an Appalachian, you know, staple. It's a big deal for people who grew up in Appalachia. It's a classic Appalachian squash. You don't really see it a whole lot anymore, but they get massive, huge. Some people confuse them with a gourd. They are not a gourd. They are a squash. They're just absolutely phenomenal, and so we love growing because it's just a heritage thing, and they are delicious. So, but then we're also just trying to make sure we get plenty of winter squashes. Just Angela and I, so we're trying to get it into like serving sized squashes, you know, smaller portions. So like the honey nut squash are very small. The butterbush, I don't really know what they're going to be like. I would assume they're a little smaller because they're a bush variety butternut, but we're trying to grow more of that kind of squash. And here is something sad for us. We don't understand what's going on. These tomatillos, they don't look wonderful. They seem like they've kind of went through some stress. They may be trying to come out of it. I'm not sure. Tomatillos in a grow bag, and here's some Ashe County pimento peppers in a grow bag, and obviously they're struggling as well. I mean, we did fertilize those. I'm not really sure why they're doing what they're doing. Maybe they're starting to come out of it. We just got to fertilize them a little bit more. I have no idea, but we're gonna keep trying on them, that's for sure. Here's these magnolia tendril sugar snap peas. They are doing a lot better than they did before. Again, this is something that was destroyed by a rabbit. A rabbit ate everything off, and now we have a lot more up here. The only bad thing about what we've had to do is we had to put a fence up here to keep the rabbit from getting in, but that kept us from being able to weed around here. So we had a lot of weeds growing up behind it. But hey, this one was ate off. And now it's 5 foot tall. Angela actually picked, I think she said like maybe 40, 42 sugar snap peas and frozen them today. We've ate a few fresh off the vine. So they are producing finally. Hopefully we can get some more out of them before they get wore out from the heat. And then we'll plant some beans there probably. Another struggle for us has been this melon patch. Things didn't germinate really well. A rabbit got in here and ate them off. But here's one that's germinated and trying to grow leaves. It's been a rough one. Here's another one trying to grow leaves. And a couple more there. They just haven't done well. Now there is something digging holes through there. Maybe like a vole. Maybe a vole is running through there and digging and tumbling underneath them. That may be hindering the roots. And again, that's in the family of things that don't want their roots disturbed. So that might be the issue there. We've planted some more cantaloupes in these 2 grow bags right here. And you see they're growing a heck of a lot better in this undisturbed area. So my belief is that there's something disturbing the roots over there in that little in-ground patch, and it's keeping them from being able to grow appropriately. Because these have been planted far less time, but they're looking far better. And that's just some of the struggle you deal with growing food. You're gonna have pests, you're gonna have varmints, things like that are gonna happen, and you're gonna have struggles, and you're gonna have successes and failures and triumphs and everything else. But if it's worth it to you, you're gonna keep working and gonna persevere, and you're gonna keep trying. And it's worth it to us to keep going. Those are just being real about some of the struggles we faced. But something that hasn't been a struggle this year has been our blackberries. We have some beautiful blackberries growing. This is only the second full year maybe of them, so they're looking good. There's only 2 bushes here. This is only 2 bushes, and they're loaded with blackberries. Beautiful, beautiful blackberries as well. We really want to try to do something cool with those. We have an idea. If this idea will happen, I think you guys will really appreciate it. Of a video we're going to be doing with those blackberries, if everyone agrees to it. And here's the rest of the container garden. We're going to go through it real fast, starting with these taters. These are Kennebec taters, and they are insane looking. Beautiful blossoms all over them. I don't think I've ever had taters that blossomed this much for us. We are really excited about it. To me, so far, this is a rousing success for us. But obviously, you don't know until you dump the taters out and see what's in those bags, right? Here's a green stalk that had some peas in it, some sweet peas, English peas. Maybe some to be harvested right there. They stayed small. The heat's gonna start wearing them out, but we got time to replant things in there. So we're gonna try to do some things late season for this 5-tier. It's a 5-tier, and then this 3-tier over here. Here's a melon right here that Angela planted in here. I think that's a sugar baby bush watermelon in there. Again, those peas are gonna have to come out. They're just done. The heat has killed them. But the good news is we have plenty of time to grow other things. And we have some varieties that are fast growing varieties that might work in a green stalk. We're gonna have to see what we can do here. Another thing that so far I'm gonna deem a success, even though we're not gonna have any idea for maybe another 3 months. It's these peanuts in a green stalk. Now some of them are a little lighter in color, some a little darker in color. They're growing really well. If you look and see, they're growing awesome. So hopefully we got peanuts inside of this green stalk, which would be amazing. This green stalk growing has been really cool for us. Again, as small space gardeners and as a couple who came from patio gardening completely, outside of an apartment, we're always going to be small space gardeners to an extent. We're going to do things in space saving varieties. These green stalks, if we'd had them when we were living in our apartment, it'd been amazing. We could have just quadrupled what we were growing there. But here, it's doing great. Again, hey, we're affiliates with them. We have a code below. If you want $10 off your purchase, click our link and use our code. That's all I'm gonna say with that one. But we do have another green stalk to show you. It's this bad boy right here with some beautiful cucumbers on top. Little cucumbers right there. There. Look, it's on a spinner, so that's really cool. It's gonna spin for you. But they're growing amazingly well. They're doing such good jobs. This is just some old flea beetle damage. That's gone. It's good. And these tomatoes under here. Spin it back. Show you this. I love these. I love this way this looks. This tomato is called a geranium kiss tomato. It stays really short and produces like a bunch of these multiflora things of sets of tomatoes, and it's only like 1-inch globes, but they're going to be a lot of them, and it's growing awesomely inside of this pocket right there. And we got 9 of those in here, and we have a bunch more basil. In that one green stalk, we got 12 cucumber plants, 9 tomato plants, and 9 pockets of basil. So there's a lot of food getting grown in that one stack. That's one reason why we really love the green stalk. But then we have grow bags. This is a grow bag full of this is a Roma tomato. It's another Roma, and that's a Roma that the rabbit ate on, and broke off, but it's surviving. And then these are purple rain tomatoes. It's going to be a short stacky tomato as well. That one, and that one. So we got 3 of those. Those tomatoes in the grow bags are going to maybe be a game changer for us. Just really allow us to grow more tomatoes in different ways outside of our garden even. You want to see some more taters? Let's go show you some more taters. Here's a less mature tote of russet potatoes. And here's a bunch of sweet taters. These have been planted less time than all these. These sweet taters are doing awesome. All these sweet taters in grow bags. Through there, looking great. There's some more taters back in there. There's the Kennebecks right there, growing out of that grow bag. I'm sorry, those are Yukon Golds. My fault. Those are Yukon Golds. But then we have all these right here. These are all russet potatoes growing in these totes, just like that. As you see behind me there, those like I said, those are in totes. Okay, totes that look like this right here. Okay. And we're doing the trash can method with those, okay? Trash can method meaning that we started the taters like down here, okay? And a little bit of dirt, and the seed taters are right here. And as the plants, and we covered them, and as the plants grow up, we keep filling it with dirt until the plants get all the way up here. And in theory, it's supposed to produce taters all throughout this. So that's what we call that's what's been called the trash can method, okay, for lack of a better term. But because the idea people would fill up a 30-gallon trash bag or a trash can with those and have taters in them like that. It only works with indeterminate potatoes. A russet is an indeterminate, whereas a Yukon Gold and a Kennebec and some of those others are determinate, and it doesn't really work with them. One more container before we show you the in-ground garden, okay? This rhubarb that Angela Kay loves and she wants to use, but she can't use it this year because it'll harm the roots. But it is looking amazing. We have 2 plants of rhubarb. This one's not as red as this one. They are 2 different varieties as well. But look at that. That's a beautiful, beautiful bush of rhubarb. That would go really well with those blackberries, but we can't use it this year, so it'll be okay. All right, y'all, the in-ground garden is looking great. We're excited because look, see that white line? Those are green beans that have not been ate by a rabbit or by bugs. Again, if you've been with us as we're chronicling our struggles, then you know that a rabbit has been able to get inside of our garden, even though it's got a electric fence around it. It's been able to jump through the holes because it's small and get in here and eat. So it's really been a number on these beans and made us have to replant, but the replant is looking really good. We'll get to those in a minute. First, we got these bush beans over here. These are contender bush beans. They're really fast growing. They were standing up really tall, like perfectly tall, about maybe 18 to 24 inches tall. They look beautiful. We had some wind the other day and the wind kind of pushed them over, but it does not mean they are not growing beans. See, little beans, little beans. Hopefully this is going to be filled with beautiful beans. They have beautiful blossoms on them too. If you can see that, it's a purplish look to it. Really nice blossoms. We have one bed over here and one bed over here in those. Then we have these two beds here of summer squashes. There's yellow squash and one variety of zucchini here and two varieties of zucchini over there. And they're starting to produce plenty of blossoms. Looking for a female blossom. There's a female blossom right there. That needs to bust out. As you can see, they're growing really well. Again, we used to grow from seed, then we started trying to start the plants from seeds and then transplant the plants. And then we're just like, you know what, it's complicating things and it's disturbing the roots. Let's just go direct sow when it's time to plant. And we've done that, and I think we're gonna be better off for it. These plants look a lot stronger, a lot healthier, and look like they're ready to produce more fruit. And so we're really excited about those. I mean, I love me some fried squash and fried zucchini. If you haven't had that, we have a video about that. And it's delicious. And now here's this row of beans. The white is diatomaceous earth, okay? And that's just to keep things from eating on them. It's not a chemical of any kind. It's not harmful or toxic. It's food grade diatomaceous earth that keeps pests from eating on stuff. So it's kept them going. These are Blue Lake pole beans. So hopefully here soon they're gonna be ready to produce runners and latch on to the trellis behind them. But that's a good row of really tall and strong beans. That's gonna make this bean eater very happy. Now we're gonna show the tomatoes, but we're gonna spare you from going through all 32 tomato plants that's in this garden, okay? We're just gonna show you just kind of the highlights and let you see how good, how well, and how fast they've grown, and really what looks like to be a lot of fruit is gonna be produced. And we're super excited, praying to God that it just stays strong like this. This front row is an Amish paste tomato. It's got plenty of blossoms, Got some fruit growing right there. That's Amish paste. And then we have 4 carbon tomatoes, and it's a beautiful tomato that we actually have come to rely on quite a bit. Has a great flavor, and it's really looking to be a heavy producer this year. It's got great disease tolerance, which is super important for us as well. Look at that set right there. It's setting some beautiful tomatoes all together. And look at this flora right here. I've never seen a full-size tomato set of flora like that. I doubt those can all produce, but man, what if it does? Look at that. It's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. That's like a full tomato plant's worth of tomatoes in that set of blossoms right there. I don't think, again, all those can produce, but if they do, that's wow. This is a hillbilly tomato. And this is a hillbilly tomato. They are showing the first bit of signs of disease down here, though. That's the first bit of disease we've seen, or a little possible issue. Hopefully, we can contain that. These are German Johnson, and blueberries. Blueberries are obviously small. You can see right in there, producing some. It's a really nice looking plant, though. Producing a lot of small tomatoes. See, the problem is I can talk about tomatoes all day because we love them and we love to grow them. And this is kind of getting back to our old ways of doing it. When we lived in an apartment there closer into town, we were blessed with an amazing crop of tomatoes every year. We got to share with a lot of people, and I'm talking just off of like 4, 5, 6 plants. We had boatloads of tomatoes at one time. Now we grew them differently. We didn't grow organic, and we used nothing but hybrids, but we did grow a lot of tomatoes, and people would love to see them, I promise you. So we've kind of gotten away from that because we grow mostly heirlooms now. We have one hybrid in there, but we grow almost all exclusively heirlooms, and it's in ground, and we grow organically. But if you see right here, it's looking like a massive year for tomatoes. Stay tuned. Hopefully we got some beautiful tomato harvest videos coming for you. Sweet corn up here. Sweet corn looking solid, looking good. I'm excited. Popcorn down here, looking wonderful. Now, one of the issues with how we grow popcorn is we grow it in a really tight patch. So it's good because it stays small, but it also makes it really hard to weed around everything because there's so much grass is growing up in the middle of the corn, and if you pull some of the weeds up, you might be pulling corn up with it. So that makes it tougher to weed, but once they get growing a little bit more, it's going to be a little easier to get in there and pull grass and not pull out the corn stalk. This down here behind me, see, tromboncina. All right, big, goofy looking, swirly squash that Angela loves. It is actually really good. It's going to hopefully vine up this bad boy here and produce some gnarly looking squashes that, again, some people might think is a gourd. It's not. It's a style of summer squash in reality. It actually is really good. More of that bean row. Looking awesome. And down here we got another chronicle of pest eating seeds and rabbits eating plants. But we do have some beans and crowder peas, field peas, whatever you want to call them. Pink-eye purple hull peas is what they are. So we have some green beans and pink-eye purple hulls on these TPs. We'll show you that real fast. This TP is Tar Heel beans. They're going to grow green beans, so they're going to grow this TP here, hopefully really well. And same with this one over here. But as you can see, this is a section that got ate up in the ground, and so we got to hopefully plant some more, see what we can't come up with. But then these three TPs are all pink-eye purple hulls, and they're hopefully going to vine up this TP here. Okay, but they're looking good. More over there, more there. Those are good heavy producers. They've put them in the right setting, but also they'll grow in any setting. They're super sustainable, one of our favorites to grow. And speaking of super sustainable, right behind me is Jackson Wonder butter peas. Those two rows are Jackson Wonder, so beautiful, flavorful, southern pea. Like, it's a butter pea, but it's so delicious and rich in flavor and nutritious and sustainable, along with this row of white Dixie butter peas. Now this is diatomaceous earth on them because something would bother these, the white Dixies, but not the Jackson Wonders. Why? I do not know. But so something was being very selective and didn't want to mess with the Jackson Wonder butter peas, which is fine. Those might be my favorite. I'm not sure. White Dixies are really good as well. Oh, didn't show you the peppers. Peppers real fast. As you can see, we got a row of peppers right here growing down here, and they're looking wonderful. I'm not sure which is which, so I'm not going to tell you what is what. I have no idea, but I just know they're looking really good. Blossoms on them. Right here, the banana peppers. I know that's banana pepper because you can see what you can tell by looking at it. So banana peppers are growing well. And these last two bushes are Aunt Molly's ground cherries, and they have bushed out more than they ever have. They used to grow kind of straight up, but these are bushing out way outside here. But they're going to produce beautiful little uniquely flavored cherry tomato-like things, but they're not tomatoes. And more peppers right there, see? Banana peppers. All right, I think that covers it all. So thank you guys so much for sticking around. We do appreciate it. Hey, as you can tell, we got a lot of food to harvest here. So hang on, you're gonna wanna watch, see how much food we can grow in this small space. So thank y'all so much for watching. We do appreciate it. My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.